Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and we are returning to our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich Edition Let's Play of the German Empire, where we're trying to find out whether strategic bombers are worthless. So, we are playing here and trying to formulate a strategy around submarines and strategic bombers, so the strategic weapons of World War II historically, in this little alternative history. Let's go ahead and actually check out our submarines. So, we do have... two submarine classes, the interwar and improved submarine hulls, and I think the interwar ones can be improved a little bit by giving them more modern torpedo tubes, basically. We could think about giving them a better engine, but it would just be too costly to refit them. It's almost the cost of a new boat entirely. So let's keep the engine as is, but let's go ahead with an upgrade on the torpedo tubes. I think that's very worthwhile. It's about a 50% upgrade. Honestly, I don't know why they have sonar. They are better at sub detection, but it's just not worth it, I think. Could go for an anti-air upgrade, but again, that just doesn't seem to be worth it. So, yeah, let's actually do an upgrade over here. I think that was called the S100. So we are going to call that class the S101 class. Here we go. So, yeah, just a small upgrade here. Not too much, but I think a worthwhile one. So let's pick our guys over here and let's collectively refit all of these ships, and that is going to take a while. Only 6 days per submarine, but of course we do have a lot of these guys that do need to be upgraded here. They're probably going to come into port soon, and there they are. So I think that's fine. Let's just make sure that we are upgrading these guys and finalizing them, and then we can also do a couple of more convoys just after we finished all of this stuff, just so that there's no inefficiency. Right, perfect. Yeah, it's a lot of submarines that we are upgrading now. Good, and that should be okay. Mostly we are trying to deal with the effects of Black Monday, of course, the alternative history crisis that we are seeing over here. Some stuff happening in South America, probably not gonna keep too much of an eye on that. We are of course going to see whether the Americas are going to fall into civil war again, but we are going to have to see about that. Italy is voting another syndicalist. Italy in this case is split up between 3 different republics plus the Pope plus Sardinia, so actually maybe even 5 entities, so we'll have to see about that. Yeah, other than that, Europe is incredibly fragmented. But that's alright. So we have discovered the mechanical computing. Computing machine seems to be a little bit too far away though. Industry, I don't think there's much that we can do. This is a little bit ahead of time, so I'm not too sure we want to do that. Let's go for radio. At some point we will need that anyway, so I think it's going to be fine. And after concentrated industry, I'm not sure what we might want to do over here. Potentially machinery tools. 160 days. It's a little bit ahead of time, so that's not really ideal. We are researching stuff for our submarine, so that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and research a little bit here in terms of, I think, support companies. Since we want to go for an attritional strategy, I think it would be very good to get field hospitals. Yeah, I think that does make sense. We've seen the horrors of World War I, and we want to make sure that that isn't happening in the same extent. So let's make sure that we are not assigned to this. Let's make sure that we are good in that regard. Why do you have an extra one? Weird. Did we train these up? Did they come into, were they, I don't know. Right. Poland elects a new king. Interesting. In a surprising turn of the events, the election for the vacant throne of Poland have resulted in the restoration of a state thought to have been forgotten in history. Despite pressure from Austria and Germany, King Mindaugas III von Urach of Lithuania has been elected the new king of Poland, and a new constitution was drafted to unite Poland and Lithuania back into a commonwealth. It is not known if this new entity will be very stable, but the Poles seem to be enthusiastic. Interesting. So we've got a Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth over here. And as I said last time, the Poles didn't really have... Bulgaria has an embargo. That's okay. So the Poles didn't really have... they were landlocked, basically. They didn't have a port. Now they do have one. Not exactly Memel, but the one just Shavali. over there. So that's interesting. Poland-Lithuania commits to the Reichspakt. With the recent political uncertainty in the Reichspakt after the formation of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, many observers believed that the formation of the new Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was a challenge against Germany's hegemony in Eastern Europe. However, such worries in Berlin were quickly assuaged when the new Commonwealth has reinforced her commitments to the German economic and military bloc, but as a partner rather than a puppet. Well, that's nice to see. That's what we're trying to do. We are trying to build up a more of a European Union approach with a bit more of an equal status for all. And it's nice to see that they are coming in, although it's a weird position on the map to have. So yeah, let's see how good that is going to turn out. We're still trying to bail out the Junkers, and a couple of things are happening in East Asia. Okay, so the authority of the Legislation Council has collapsed in a single night of blood and violence. Street gangs organized by the Chinese criminal organizations have slaughtered many members of the police corps, administration, and even a handful of the more influential delegates from the legislation powers. Fortunately, since the dividends we are entitled to have not been paid anyway, this has little effect on us. Loses member of the Legislation Cities Council? Or this cannot be allowed to stand. The Triad Syndicate, who are they exactly? Let's say this cannot be allowed to stand. And we've got an available war goal against these guys over here. This is a weird positioning over here, I would say. Is it expiring at some point? I don't think so. So let's just keep that in mind for now. We are certainly not in a state for war. I mean, we do have a lot of divisions, but that's more or less it. We are trying to counter the French over here, but doesn't seem to be too viable at that point. Sedan-Tag. So yeah, Franco-German War of 1971. That's nice. We are gaining some political power. Would be good to gain some stability, really. That negative stability is really hurting us incredibly badly over here. But nevertheless, we are bailing out the Junkers, and that should have a positive effect very soon, because we now can go for the Investitionsprogramm, which is going to take another 105 days, but at that point we might be doing some good after that. So in particular, it's going to replace the Black Monday effects with some better ones, and that is certainly nice, because the Black Monday effects are horrible. Factory output minus 60%, that is truly killing us, as is the negative stability of minus 25% from that. So yeah, we really need to deal with that. Indo-Chinese Union. So our puppets are doing stuff. And okay, of course there is I think we've seen that in a couple of the other Let's Plays. Can we actually help you maybe by sending you expeditionary forces? Okay, apparently we cannot. Interesting. Can we give you land and lease of anything really? Some guns, maybe? Let's send you 1,000 guns. I think that might be nice. Communists established the Socialist Anti-Colonial Committee. The word has spread. The Communion of France, alongside other members of the International, have established the Socialist Anti-Colonial Committee. It aims to support the cause of Arabs in North Africa in liberating their homelands from the hands of the colonial powers. And so our protectorate in Morocco, together with other members of the Syndicalist International, has revived the Muslim Committee, informally known as the Socialist Muslim Committee. Okay, treason, plot and sabotage. Interesting. Let's see what's going to come out of that. So Morocco over here being a little bit influenced by the Syndicalists. Now it's easy to see, because the Commune of France has also they have thrown out basically the previous rulers, and they are still ruling in North Africa, so it's easy to see why they would be a little bit opposed to the idea of that. Belgium seems to be timid. I had a small little test game, and they chose the approach of going down some of these different routes, and I don't know exactly which one. But yeah, Costa Rica. Yeah, I think we can send in a little bit there. That shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, you're just focusing on economic development, which is fine. We could modify the government by picking one of these guys, but honestly I don't think it's worth it at this very moment. Research speed of course would be extremely nice, but yeah, with the political power being as fragile as it is and all of these Black Monday effects happening, I'm not too sure that's what we want at all. What are we producing in terms of submarines? Are we anywhere close to upgrading all of these? Not at all is the answer. Food from Middle Africa, a little bit of support equipment arriving, that is nice. There's another event over here. Political crackdown. Granting limited help. Oh yeah, that will go away soon. That should be very lovely because that will allow us to build up a little bit more in terms of civilian factories. Radio finished. It is late 1937, so I think we can go back to the industry over here and start to research that a little bit more. Excavation as well. Let's go for construction. That should help us out immensely. Huey Long elected president of the USA. Despite the massive instability rampant in the nation ever since the Great Depression in 1925, the president election went forward and the voting results are clear. Huey Long of the American First Union Party is the 32nd president of the United States. Huey Long is famous for a successful governorship of Louisiana, but he has received a lot of criticism for his populist policy and the usage of Minutemen, paramilitaries. Okay, that just went away. You of course have the ability to go back. Italy doing stuff down there. Don't need to be too concerned with that, I think. Low manpower, that's true, but we do have 200,000 men available, so I'm not too concerned here. Right, how many strategic bombers are we building right now? Because that is the centerpiece of our strategy, and we've built a total of 12, so that's great. Right, any other stuff that we can do? Decisions available? Oh yeah, because we do have the political power. Well, that's nice. Police crackdown. That would increase stability by a significant bit, although it would cost us an enormous amount of stuff in terms of... One of our largest import partners, the struggling Republic of Argentina, has reached out to Trade Ministry. Yes. Do we need their loyalty? Honestly, I don't think we do. Let's try to see what's going to come out of here. Right. Oh, we can invade Denmark. Well, interesting. So, do we want to go for the weekly stability? Oh, basic snorkel. That's interesting development. Can we develop anything else here? Now, these things are a little bit ahead of time, so I don't want to be too aggressive here. But only a year or so that's not too bad, actually. Active sonar. Not sure we need that. Engineering, no, that's all very much ahead of time. Let's go for improved machinery tools. I think that's going to be nice. Let's also take a look at our submarines over here, specifically at these submarines. So whether we can reduce that here to snorkel. Yeah, I think snorkel would be a great addition because it would reduce our submarine visibility. And then if we go ahead and upgrade these torpedo tubes as well, that would be lovely. I think here I'm going to make an exception and go for a submarine engine upgrade. And that would reduce the submarine visibility a lot. And that would be a great submarine for us to be having. But since we are upgrading all of the other ones as time goes by, I think that's fine. Investor Returns Program, lovely. That does allow us to come closer to removing all of these things. So this is still decreasing stability by 10%, production efficiency, cab factory output. It's still pretty horrible. So honestly, I think we can still try to go down here this way. That's going to be in 105 days. Poland is going to be even more integrated, which would be lovely. And just getting rid of Black Monday entirely. I would like to see that. Good, let's go for that. Right, Korea asks for aid. 3,000 guns. I think that's something that we could very much afford. But do you want to? No, I don't think we are interested in that. Let's keep friendly relationships with Japan. That'd be lovely. Yeah, field hospital done. Also good to see. We could do synthetic oil and stuff. But for now, I don't think we need to. So let's rather improve our guns and our infantry just a little bit. Shouldn't be too much. So police crackdown. A lot of political stability costs. So I don't think we do want to do that right now. Ooh, yes! Argentina has agreed. And that is giving us a couple of good things over here. So specifically, less consumer good factories. Yeah, that's very nice. Good stuff there. So that does allow us to build more stuff at the same time, which also is very lovely. Right. So let's actually produce a little bit more in these high infrastructure provinces. So that would be nice. Right, there we go. Fantastic. Good stuff. Hans von Seeckt's funeral. Our Chief of General Staff, Hans von Seeckt, has died today in Berlin. The hero of the intervention in China has passed away. Oh, well, well, well. Do we still have people around? Yeah, we do. Not that great people, though. Yeah. No, let's still keep the political power around because I potentially want to do some other stuff. Venetian revolt. With the recent electoral victory in the right-wing and vehemently anti-Austrian A&E party in the Italian Republic, so this little bit, I think... Oh, this bit over there. Calling for the restoration of the serene Republic of Italy. Venice, the famous state that has been once conquered by the Revolutionary Wars. Okay, interesting. I haven't ever seen that, but there we go. There's a new state over there. Venice, you are... Well, you don't really know what you're... Except that you want to be independent and legionary Italy. Who are you? Oh, so there is a civil war down here between you. You are in a non-aggression pact with Austria. And you're just defending. Interesting. Is there anyone who we think is a little bit more worthwhile backing? Honestly, not really. Let's just have them fight it out. I think there's no point for us to try to support one party or the other here. Again, let's just reduce that here. I don't think we want to take that decision. We do need the political power for other things as well, so that should be okay. Right, we are approaching Poland. What exactly is going to happen? A lot of things. Pause. Approach Poland. Yesterday in the early afternoon, Centrum politician Heinrich von Brentano has given an impassioned speech on how the differences of the past must be laid aside in order to create a stronger European economic bloc that includes every nations with which we have our differences. While not mentioned explicitly by name, it is obvious to most that he spoke of a reconciliation with our smaller neighbour Poland, or rather, Poland and Lithuania. Our relationship with Poland has been icy since the end of the Weltkrieg, and Polish nationalism has been a keen thorn in the Kaiser's side over the past 2 decades. Perhaps it is time to set aside our old animosity for the sake of the future. A little bit of political power, nice to see. Let's finish the Black Monday stuff over here. And that would be fantastic indeed. It's only going to be 35 days, which is also lovely. Can we do anything over here? We could improve relations. You are in the Reichspark faction anyway, so that is nice. We can do a couple of things over here. So early mobilization would reduce the consumer good factories by a lot. And get rid of a couple of negative effects really. Including civilian construction speed. So yeah, let's try to change that and be a little bit more, get our ball rolling here and build more factories. And that should be lovely. And at some point soon we're going to switch to military factories as well. Right, Schachtplan is also hopefully going to go away soon, so that should give us more civilian factories to build stuff. Better stability, which currently is at 0. Production efficiency, factory output. How many bombers are we currently building? Well, at least 1 a week, so that is up from, I think, 6 per year. So that is better. That's much better. Right, I think we can actually potentially grab a couple of these guys. You can stop training here, please. Let's grab our strategic bombers and send you over. It's fine. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's stop. Too much is happening. Right. So you guys do train over southern Germany. Let's try to get you to be a little bit better at what you're doing. Right. The Qing Empire has been attacked. The Shangqing have attacked the Qing Empire. How should we respond to this potential threat to our power in the region? Let's find out who these guys are. So, Shangqing, who are you? Okay, Shangqing over here. You guys are now in... Can I get to diplomatic map mode? Yeah, okay, you aren't one these guys. Send in military and advisors. Wouldn't be too bad. Offer full alliance or stay out of it. Well, I don't want to spend the political power for full alliance, so let's send out military advisors. Well, that should be okay. Standoff in America. A tense standoff has erupted in the United States as Democratic... yeah, and they are civil war. As Democratic elected President Yu fled to the city of New Orleans after being forcibly removed from his position by General Douglas MacArthur. From New Orleans, long supporters have declared MacArthur government illegitimate, as have the northern supporters of syndicalist Jack Reed, based in Chicago, and the Pacific governors under the leadership of Governor Frank Merriam. All have been given a deadline of 30 days. Yeah, so the United States is going to go back to civil war. Basically, the MacArthur has taken over the United States. That's the blue block here in the middle. Then we've got the communists up here, based in Chicago. We've got the populists down here. And we've also got the Pacific, mostly democratic nations up over there. Interesting development, really. Right, can we change anything else? No, just the head of military intelligence. Again, not the most important role for now. Would be nice for the research speed, but again, we don't really have that. Right, Serbia crowns King Alexander. I don't think that is too important for us. Black Monday reforms. Yeah, that does get rid of that. Factory output 3% would be nice, but I'm mostly looking for the new research slot as the next thing. Elections of 1937. Today the German people will elect their representative for the Reichstag. The elections have been tightly fought and the results are awaited with much anticipation. The fate of several parties and of course the Kaiserreich itself could be decided today. If the Social Democrats manage to secure enough votes, the realist wing of the Social Liberalist FVP will form a coalition with them. Another possibility would be the coalition, so much more stuff. So social liberalism, social democracy, doesn't sound too bad. Line Ross, the new grocer coalition, political power, market liberalism 20%. Where do we stand on that? Change who needs change. Honestly, I think I'm mostly... I'm thinking of this one. Market liberalism? Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see whether we are going to get a new Kaiser or something. A new Reichskanzler. Under the Constitution of 1871, there is no formal government in the Kaiserreich. Instead, the Kaiser appoints a person of his liking to the post of Reichskanzler, who then fills the state secretary post of the Reichsleitung, the Reich administration. Even though most of these parties won the most Reichstag posts in the elections, this does not mean that the Kaiser even has to even consider appointing a new chancellor. However, following the Ludendorff regime, this gesture of goodwill has become the modus operandi, and abandoning it would lead to political unrest. What should we do? So, we could appoint Little Forbeck, the Lion of Africa, but we could do the same but demand concessions, which change that guy down there to something else. So instead of Rathenau, we would gain Blumenthal, and Moltke and Schleicher would be different. Social Conservatives, and this is Silent Lawyer. Construction speed, stability. Keep the current one, or the Kaiser trial alternative. No. I think we are going to point and make no concessions here. And that should give us new people over here. And hopefully a little bit more stability. Hopefully. Decisions available. Ooh, legislate freedoms. Daily political power cost, weekly stability. Perhaps the easiest way to improve our country's stability is to give people what they want. Rally public support. Interesting. Interesting. It would be costing us a lot of political power, which I think we don't have right now. And we might want to do some other things with that as well, specifically maybe industrial concern. Chief of Staff, all of this would be good. I mean, industrial concern, aircraft designer, heavy bomber manufacturer, yes, that'd be lovely. Production cost minus 15%. And more air research speed. Fighters are of course important, especially with the range upgrade. I mean, we do want to go for strategic bombers, but to get them, we need decent fighters. And all of them are pretty much the same. There's another heavy bomber manufacturer, which would give us more air attack, air defense, max speed. That I think is less important. Or fighter production costs, minus 15%. All of these are tempting. I think I'm a little bit more in favor of the air attack and agility and range of fighters specifically. Because then they can accompany our bombers to a larger extent. On the other hand, production cost is tempting. What would we have for industrial company? Construction speeds, that's lovely. Resource gain, I don't care about that much. Electronics is nice. Chemical company? I don't think I've ever seen that. Weapons manufacturer, yeah. Infantry equipment. All of them extremely important, but I'm mostly tempted to go with the heavy guys over here. Chief of Staff? No, we don't want to change these guys. And again, head of military intelligence doesn't pay off that much. I'm going to go for the heavy bomber manufacturer over here because it's in line with what we want to achieve. Guns from Middle Africa, nice. Situation in Indochina deteriorates. They can handle this. Send in reinforcements. All and one Asia. Tally ho. Gain war support minus 25%. No. We're going to send in reinforcements and hope that our guys here are going to be alright. Can we send... Can you... volunteers? No. We cannot. Okay, that's fine. Couple of guys popping up over here. And there we go. Second American Civil War. Basically, potentially you might have wanted to read that, but you can scroll back, I guess. So yeah, a lot of fighting is going to erupt over here. And that's not our beef, but we are going to watch it very closely, of course. More decisions available. Oh yeah, we can support actually all of these guys. I think we are going to send a little bit of support to the Pacific states. They're the most democratic, and that might be okay. Army budgetary requests from Flanders Wallonia in an effort to better prepare their southern border against a syndicalist threat. So Belgium is sort of our puppet. The government of Flanders Wallonia has requested that we loosen some of the military restrictions imposed on them, which would allow them to better guard the Ludendorff linie. And we could free that up, or we could say that, no, I think we're going to allow them some wiggle room over here. And we've got Bertolt Brecht requesting visas. Some time ago, syndicalist sympathizers from the Rhineland have been going abroad to help their comrades in various conflicts around the world. Today, the famous underground writer Bertolt Brecht has announced his intention to join these international divisions. We could let him go, which would most likely inspire quite a number of other syndicalists to go abroad after him, or we could confiscate his passport and prohibit him from leaving the country. As Brecht is a prominent figure, blocking him could perhaps weaken the syndicalist cause, but on the other hand, it would likely cause tremendous outrage. Let him go. We should keep him here. I'm loathsome of syndicalists. Last time we did play syndicalists, of course. But I would like to keep a little bit of a lid on that and see whether that is going to work out. Naval budgetary requests. let's have them do their thing. Again, it's in line with what we need to do. And here we go, we've finished the reforms over there. Let's try to get another research slot. I think that's going to be the most important. And that thing is gone, so that means our production should be much higher now. And I think indeed it is. So yeah, no nasty effects from Black Monday. And that is fantastic to see, of course. How we're looking in terms of construction. In terms of construction, we are building now four full production lines, and that is fantastic to see as well. I guess we should try to squeeze in a fuel silo at some point. Let's do that in Thuringia. And after that we're going to build a couple of military factories, I suppose. And that should be decent over here and over there, and that's fine. Fall of Washington, Syndicalist and Philippines. So Syndicalists have moved into Washington, and it seems like the United States are falling apart very quickly over here. Whereas we are researching improved machinery tools, nice. Conversion I don't think is that important. It is still a little bit ahead of time to research 1938 stuff. So let's not do that right now. Infantry equipment, yeah, all of that is ahead of time though. So armor we're not going to deal with. We could do the artillery. That would be a decent upgrade, I think, for much of our stuff. On the other hand, I would like to get our submarines to be a little bit more ready before we start to converting the second batch, basically. On the other hand, we are still very much, we do have stuff to research here. Yeah, let's research radar. I think that's going to be fine. A lot of these things are going to finish up at more or less the same time anyway, so that should be okay. Eric Ludendorff dies. Let's remember the genius, not the dictator. There's a lot of law going on in this regard, so please do feel free to read that, but I'm not going to read it all. I'm feeling that I'm reading too much already. Right, you know what, let's go for the escort ships and research the improved schnorkel over here, and it is going to take a while, but that's going to be fine. And then I think secondly we are also going to go for the improved torpedo tubes. What? Okay, let's read through that here in a second. So, after a brief French Civil War, the old government of France and its supporters fled to North Africa to escape syndicalist arrest. There, the nation eventually devolved into a military junta under the line of Verdun, Philippe Pétain. However, a big question arose in this defeated nations. What should its future be? Retaking France is the priority, yes, but what should be the government? It appears the French have answered the question to themselves, as the national French state has accepted an agreement to restore monarchy in France. So, down here the French Republic is going to change into the Kingdom of France, I suppose. Might take a month for that to kick in. Nope, I think that's just a research slot. Okay, fine. Let's decide what we're going to research, and then I think we do have to put in a cut to this episode because it's lasting a little bit long already. So engineering, you are doing fine. I don't think we need the basic fire control at all because we're not going to build big ships. These things are all a little bit too far ahead, I suppose, so that's fine. You're researching that doesn't need to be too concerned. We don't need to concern ourselves with that. Artillery, yeah, let's go for artillery. I think it's fine. It's an easy research in time, and that should be good. Right, and our production is doing fine as well. And oh, we've finished the modernization of all of these submarines, so that is nice. But we will be needing a little bit more than a year for us to be building new submarines with the improved schnorkel. Question is, do we want to upgrade them now or build new ones maybe and then upgrade them later? So the question is here on this class, we could improve its engine, we could improve the torpedo. Well, why would we be improving the torpedo tubes? We could go for the snorkel here. How much does that do? It's decreasing submarine visibility by 33%. And the new one over here, the improved one, would do what? Minus 50. It's brilliant. It's really what we need, I think. And what I would very much fantastically like to see. But upgrading that right now? No. Let's wait a second over here. Maybe finish up the research on that, and then we can at least start producing a couple of new ones, I think. Yeah, that might be the way to go. So, that being said, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I do hope to see you around next time. Bye bye!